It was a crisp morning when I noticed something unusual along my private farm road. Long black strips glinting in the sunlight. My stomach sank instantly. Karen from the HOA had struck again. This time, she had installed spike strips across the road that led to my ranch, apparently thinking she could control access or punish me for some perceived slight. I approached cautiously, observing the strips. They were designed for vehicles sharp and lethal to tires, and anyone who drove over them unawares could be seriously injured. My blood boiled, but I knew that reacting impulsively could escalate matters dangerously. I stepped back and called the sheriff to report the hazard. They confirmed that the spike strips were illegal, and that anyone installing them without permission would face severe legal consequences. Karen, of course, didn't wait. She was standing nearby, trying to act casual, arms crossed as if daring me to confront her. "It's just a little precaution," she said smugly. "I'm protecting the neighborhood." I raised an eyebrow. "Protecting the neighborhood?" I echoed slowly. "By trespassing and creating a dangerous obstruction on my private property?" Her smirk faltered. I gestured toward the spike strips. "Do you see these? They're illegal, dangerous, and placed without any permission. If someone had driven over them and gotten hurt, the liability would fall squarely on you. And trust me, I've documented everything." Karen opened her mouth to argue, but I continued. "Now, you will remove these immediately, or I will involve law enforcement to have them confiscated and press charges for trespassing, vandalism, and endangerment. Do you understand?" Her face paled, and she nodded, muttering something about overreaction as she fled to her car. I watched her leave, satisfied that the immediate danger was neutralized. But I knew this wasn't just about spike strips. It was about asserting control, and Karen clearly had no idea who she was dealing with. I called in a local crew to safely remove the spikes and reinforce the road. As they worked, I checked my security cameras, ensuring no additional surprises. Every movement Karen had made was recorded. Her installation of the spikes, her retreat, and the timeline of her trespassing. The documentation would ensure that the HOA could not dispute the severity of her actions. Later that day, I filed a formal report with both the sheriff and the HOA board. The board was forced to take immediate action, reprimanding Karen and banning her from any further interference on my property. Word spread quickly in the neighborhood. Spike strips on my road were not just illegal, they were a direct challenge to the authority of the property owner. By evening, the road was cleared, the gates secured, and the ranch returned to its peaceful state. My family and I walked along the main path, discussing the morning's events. "She really thought she could stop us?" my daughter asked incredulously. I smiled. "Some people mistake aggression for authority. But on my land, preparation, knowledge, and control outweigh arrogance every time." Karen has learned a very expensive and humiliating lesson today. As the sun set over the ranch, casting golden light across the fields and pastures, I reflected on the events. Ownership isn't just about holding a title, it's about enforcing boundaries and being prepared for those who think entitlement gives them power. Karen had tried to assert hers with spike strips, but she had met the full weight of reality. My authority, my preparation, and the law. The ranch settled into evening calm. Birds chirped, the bulls grazed quietly, and the road stretched, unobstructed and safe. Karen had been taught a lesson she wouldn't forget. On my property, boundaries were law, and trespassers faced consequences far beyond mere warnings.